Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We're continuing our discussion of women's health and heart disease with Dr. JoAnne Cobler, renowned cardiologist with the Buffalo Medical Group. And she is also someone who walks the walks, talks the talk, rows the boat. Okay, I'm referring to something.
And when.
Yeah.
Leads by example.
Yeah,
leads
she
by
leads
example.
by example.
Yes,
Exactly,
she does.
Penny. So here's a picture of JoAnne with her at the regatta. They took gold medal this weekend at the Onondaga Cup. The BSRA Masters. She stressed Masters. I believe it's all in caps.
Right.
Masters. But an awesome. I mean. What a great accomplishment, and how does it feel? I mean, you're out there on the water. My niece Katie, as you know, is a rower.
Exactly.
And it's just, what's the feeling? What's the buzz in your head?
She wants to win.
Well, you've got these 8 women, and you have your coxswain, and you're like the feeling of being so together.
Yeah.
And it's just like exerting yourself to the extreme. Like you would never push yourself that hard yourself, but you have to because it's your team. And if you don't put everything into it, your team is not going to win.
And
so we all
surely got
did.
in her 150 minutes for
Yeah,
sure.
Yes,
She
yes.
got 150 minutes in one day, blah, 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 show off.
To get back to the heart disease issue.
Yes.
Adriana and I both had the same question.
Is it false or fact?
Yeah, is it false or fact?
That's a fact.
I like the way that it's there's a large genetic component to whether you're going to have heart disease or not.
There's absolutely a genetic component. The family history is one of the key things I ask a patient. If you have a male relative above the age of 55 or older with heart disease, a stroke, heart attack, coronary artery disease, you're at a higher risk. And if it's a female relative, it's above the age of 65 with a stroke or a heart attack.
So it is.
So absolutely,
So
that's
it's
the
a
first thing I
fact,
ask
guys.
patients. If you have family history, you ask if they've had sudden death in the family. That could mean that you're at risk of having a cardiomyopathy, or someone even a history of someone had a car accident and died, and no one ever knew what happened. That could have been a heart problem.
Exactly.
So we
So
have
you
to
really
really
have to-
probe into their family history, their grandparents. It's 3 generations: grandparents,
really?
and
Wow.
parents, and then
But
siblings.
it's something that we have to take responsibility of.
We have
of
to
our
know
own
our
health,
history,
right?
absolutely.
And even if you're adopted or have been brought into a family, you've got to
Right.
take the time to
Absolutely.
find out about your family
Exactly.
medical history. And it's really a profound
It's very important.
discovery, really.
You know what I want to ask, because you came in, you're so vivacious. You have such a great energy about you. When we're talking about this, it's clear you love it.
I love
so
it. I
what
love
made
what I
you,
do.
want to be a doctor and to really focus on the matters of the heart?
I guess I didn't really have a role model to become a doctor because no one in my family's a doctor.
Wow.
But I think I realized during college that I was good in math and science and chemistry, and they kept pushing you towards doing research or whatever. And then there's a specific date I realized, and I remember people used to come to me on the floor, and they'd be, I'd be like their counselor and talking to them. And then one day, I wrote it down in my diary that I'm meant to be a doctor. It was my calling.
Everyone
And-
who knows you agrees with that.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
that I mentioned your name to, you come up in conversation, oh, she saved my mother. She's awesome. She's, and the thing is that choosing a good doctor.
Yeah, that's important.
Tell us how,
Oh, my
how you
goodness.
choose a good doctor, because we've had this conversation personally, just
Right, exactly.
choosing doctors, taking responsibility of your heart health
Right.
and your health in general, because it all affects, as you said, we could have different symptoms that really, my leg hurts, my arm hurts, my
And it
shoulder
also
hurts.
comes
Right.
right to
And
the
it's
heart.
all
It could be
about
your
the
shoulder, it
heart.
could be the heart.
Yeah.
You need to have someone who will listen to you.
Yeah.
That they're going to take your full history, and when you talk to them, they listen. I mean, you can tell if they're listening.
Well, you said women don't take enough responsibility for their health.
Yeah.
So, like you were telling us before, which I think is fascinating, that we would call 911 for somebody else, but
not for ourselves.
Ourselves.
We're too afraid. No.
Why is that?
I think it's that whole thing. We take care of other people. We
Yeah.
take care of the family.
It's the
We're all
caregiver.
worried about the children, the spouse, the parents. So we end up, we're the caretakers.
I think women
And
have
we
a
always
higher
think we don't want to
threshold
bother
for-
someone.
Yeah,
We
yes.
don't want to bother
Yeah,
anybody.
And even though we talked about the genetic aspect, but even though it might be in your family and it might be genetic,
Right.
there's still it's still preventable if you take
Absolutely it
certain
is.
steps, right? In other words, it's
80%.
not genes are destiny. We
Absolutely
should just give
not.
up. You know,
You're right.
Somebody said,
Because you might find out, like, if they have a family history, then okay, what is the risk factor? I'll look, okay, their cholesterol is high. So if I treat this, I will prevent it. And they exercise and don't smoke. Absolutely do not smoke. So you want
how
to
many
look
times
at.
can we say that?
Exactly.
Please, you can't
150
say it enough in
minutes,
my lab.
150
I
minutes.
know, we can say it
Yeah.
enough. It was just in Europe, and everybody smokes
Yeah.
still. And I'm like, compared to the United States, it's just they haven't gotten the message at all.
No.
But a lot of people say, even if you do smoke or even if you don't eat a healthy diet, if it's in your genes, it's going to happen anyway. You're going to have it anyway.
No, you
so
can
I
change
think
it.
that's not
You can
true.
change
What
it.
you're
Change
saying
it.
is
That's
important that people can change it.
Absolutely.
What about diet? We didn't really talk about diet.
Diet suits. You need to follow a low-fat diet. You want to eat vegetables. You want green vegetables. You want to stay away from things like corn and carrots where there's a lot of sugar. So a lot of green vegetables.
I'll just put that on my list over
going.
here.
Right.
Red wine,
Vodka, no Red Bull.
life as you know it.
Corn, no.
deteriorating
150
so
minutes.
So we want
What about-
fish, turkey, chicken, and you want it to broil
No
it.
steak.
No.
No French fries.
No, yeah, and you want to. I know a lot of people. I'll see their cholesterol go up and say, "Oh, I've been eating cheese." Cheese, that's a lot of fat in cheese.
Oh,
so you
my
have to look
heart.
at that. Yeah.
This is
What about the people that do the low carbohydrate, high protein diets and they eat a lot of fats? They're like the
not
old
good.
Stillman diet, and everyone always said that's so good for your heart.
Not if you have a lot of fats.
Right.
And if you have an excessively fatty meal and you already have disease or you have that cholesterol plaque, it's more likely to rupture after a fatty meal. So it could be like the next day or so that you could happen.
And we only have a minute, but there's many more treatments. There's so many more treatments than I think there were in years past.
Exactly.
Stents and
Right.
various non-intrusive methods of
Yes.
treating. We haven't talked about treatment, but
Exactly.
it's improved quite a bit.
Oh,
in our
absolutely. It's a whole
lifetime.
different than I did 30 years ago when I was a fellow. We would have to come in the middle of the night because people's hearts were failing. We didn't have stents. We didn't have this. So you had people who, they had so much damage during a heart attack that their heart couldn't pump, and then they went into heart failure and they're just cardiogenic shock and they died. Now it's like you rarely see that because we get in right away. Unless people delay and don't
So
come in.
besides not smoking, you have a message which is get treatment right away.
Right,
Yeah.
you call 911.
Yep, get it.
Get in there.
The sooner the better.
This
Yes.
is so beneficial. We have
Yes,
so many
very.
questions. We could be here for another hour. Unfortunately, we can't. And Dr. Cobler has patience.
Right.
And patience with us, actually.
People are waiting.
We want to thank you so much, Dr. JoAnne Cobler, for taking the time to be with us today and to educate us about this most important subject of our health.
Yes.
Please be proactive with your own care and try to make smart lifestyle choices for a long and happy life. We have to take a short break. We're going to be right back here, and up on the screen you're going to see how to contact Dr. JoAnne Cobler for more information. So please stay with us.